Can you believe it's been 6 months since this phone right here, the 15 Pro Max, did come out? We're just going to talk about my thoughts on this device. I've been using it since launch, and we're going to talk about it. I've been going back and forth between that and the 15 Plus. So we're going to talk about this phone today. I just dropped a video on the 15 Plus the other day, but the Pro Max, Apple's, latest, greatest, biggest, most expensive iPhone ever. Is it worth it? How do I feel about it? I want to know in the comment section below how you feel about it. And at the end, I'll give you my opinion. I think if you follow me, you already know what phone I choose or what phone I think is the better value. But if you're new to the channel, guys, hit that like, drop a sub. So the Pro Max, I started out with the navy one at launch, and then I decided to keep the Plus, return that, but then I wanted to use the Pro Max again, so I did pick up the natural titanium color, which I'm very happy. I think this is the best colorway. But the colors on the iPhone 15 Pro Max and the Plus series, I do like them all this year. I think they did a really good job. Now, the Pro Max titanium build compared to aluminum that we have on the Plus and the regular 15, but titanium here on the Pro Max, and I go back and forth about this, and it's no different. The S24 Ultra is also titanium, so they're kind of, they follow each other. All these companies are following each other, whether it's a year later or not. Somebody's doing whatever the other one is doing, and usually it's Apple, and then people follow that. But titanium, I don't love it. Mentally, I love it, right? In your head that it's better than stainless steel or aluminum, but it's so light, it's very hard it just doesn't feel premium to me. However, I know it's premium, right? In your mind, it's premium, but when you feel it, it's so light and airy, I want to say, that it just doesn't feel premium. Now, it has grown on me over time. I mentioned this in the video the other day. The first few times I used the 15 Pro Max almost 6 months ago, I hated how light it was because I was used to the 14 Pro Max and the stainless steel and how heavy that was. Over time, I do like it better now because it's lighter. It's easier to hold. It's lighter in your pocket. All around, it's just a better device when it comes to comfort, right? And especially with the edges, right? It looks the same edge-wise, but those rounded top edges give it a much more comfortable feel than what we had on the 14 Pro Max, the 14 or the 13 Pro Max, and the 12 Pro Max. I do love how this feels in the hand, especially now that it is lighter. So my brain tells me that it's better materials, which it is, but holding it, you have to kind of get used to it not being so heavy as what we had on the 14 Pro Max and the 13 Pro Max and so on, all of the heavier devices that Apple does make. But it's grown on me, and I like it for the most part. It's not perfect, right? You guys know. I mean, we might as well just talk about it now, but this thing does get pretty hot. Now, compare that to the aluminum on the 15 Plus. The 15 Pro Max does get a lot warmer. Now, you and I have both heard and seen people complain about it overheating. It hasn't happened to me. Does it get extremely warm? It does, and it has since launch. Has it ever stopped working because of it? It has not. So I can't really say that it is a problem. However, the heat dissipation compared to what we get on the Plus, it is different. The Plus does stay a little cooler than what we have on the 15 Pro Max. However, I have not noticed any difference in performance. And for me, it just feels warmer. But other than that, it is fine. But I believe that's just a titanium build compared to the aluminum. Now, again, other people have complained that it stopped working or whatever. I'm not that guy. I haven't experienced it, so I can't comment. I can only comment on how it works for me. Now, look, we all know about the cameras and the video quality. I mean, pictures speak for themselves. Video quality on iPhones have been the best in the business for years to come. Other companies, Google, Samsung, OnePlus, they're all catching up when it comes to video, but I still believe firmly that Apple does hold the title when it comes to video quality, and photo quality is very subjective at this point because every phone, pretty much every flagship phone, takes fantastic photos. Some do better in low light situations. Some have better dynamic range. Some have more saturation like Samsung phones. But for the most part, all of these phones that cost this at this price, they're all going to give you great photos. It doesn't matter if it's Samsung or Apple or Google, whatever it is, you're going to get a good photo. And these are no different. The camera setup on here, the new macro lens on here, it takes great photos. No complaints on here. Now, next, battery life. Battery life on here has been great. I said this the other day in the 15 Plus video. I just want a day. Get me through a day. I'm not going to complain at all. And the 15 Pro Max does that. The 15 Plus for me has given me better battery life, but by no means is the 15 Pro Max a slouch. A day, no problem. Usually 20%, 25, 30% at the end of the day, and I'm good to go. I'll charge it for a little while overnight and on to the next day. No issues with that. Now, one thing on here, the 15 Plus has the, tried and true mute switch that we all love on iPhones that I am accustomed to, and I use that thing all the time when I'm using a phone that has it. The action button on here, I've talked about this in the past. I'm not a big fan of the action button. I mean, I feel like they need to add more features to it. I prefer the mute switch. I always will, probably. And that's just me. I know there's a lot of people that love the action button, but for me, it's just not there yet. They need to add more features, more just anything, updates, software features, whatever it may be. I just prefer the simple, sometimes less is more, right? And that's what I feel with the mute switch and an iPhone. So look, overall, is it crazy expensive? Yeah. Was it $1,300 starting price point at 256 gigs of storage? But $1,300 is a lot when you could pick up the 15 Plus for $999 and used around $600-700 right now. But the 15 Pro Max, is it the best phone Apple has to offer? It is. Should you get it? If you have a 14 Pro Max, probably not. If you have a 13 Pro Max, probably not. 12 Pro Max, absolutely time to upgrade. But it is better than previous models. If at this point we're 6 months in, so if you haven't purchased this phone now, I would wait another 6 months basically, for the next iPhone, for the 16 Pro Max or the 16 Pro, whatever you want. I would wait at this point. If you didn't get it at launch, you might as well wait at this point. If you're on a cheaper budget or you want a smaller device, of course, go for the smaller phones. But I mean, I get 95% of the experience on the 15 Plus that I get on the 15 Pro Max. Is the Pro Max a better phone? Of course it is. It's a better phone. It's also a lot more money. You got to determine what's right for you. If you have that bankroll like that, go ahead and get that. You can find deals. I picked up this Pro Max from Boost Unlimited. I paid $60, no money down, $60 a month for a new number with unlimited talk, text, whatever. That's it. I pay $60 a month and I'm allowed to upgrade every single year through them. Now, I'm good with that. Like $60 a month, no money out of pocket to start besides the first month, and I can upgrade every single year. I'm good with that. That's a good deal. But still very expensive, right? These phones are expensive unless you can get a good deal or you got money like that. But the 15 Pro Max, it is a great phone. I really can't say anything bad about it. The display on here, performance on these phones, it's a beast. Gaming on it, it's a beast. It will get warm, but it just does everything very, very well. I really can't say anything bad about this phone. It's a beautiful phone. Probably second favorite iPhone of all time behind the 13 Pro Max. But in my opinion, the 15 Plus is still a better deal. But for those of you that need the 120 hertz refresh rate, then the 15 Plus is already out. So that is the one thing where this shines compared to the Plus. If the Plus had 90 hertz or 120, it would be a no-brainer every day of the week to get the Plus. But Pro Max, the best Apple has. It's expensive, but it's great. I'll be back soon, guys. Peace.